This is Curtis coming at you from Ace Per Head Studios once again, covering the NFL 2021 season. Going to look into Week 7, but I'm going to take a different road this time. I'm going to move away from my Dolphins and their peep show season and take a vacation and take a look at another team, a team that I've been really interested in looking at and studying, with one particular player being Joe Burrow all season long. Cut film, never seemed to get to. There was always something. And mostly because the Dolphins have been such a disaster that I've been hooked, fascinated, trying to figure it out and cover all the ugliness. So I'm going to really enjoy a positive video on a very class character of Joe Burrow and a Bengals organization that has suffered worse than my Miami Dolphins, given their history. And it was a beatdown. I did not expect them to beat the Ravens in such strong fashion. I've watched a little bit of Joe Burrow. I've watched a little bit of the offensive line. Try to catch up with the team because I really do want to see them do well. To me, Joe Burrow and Josh Allen, are the two quarterbacks that I'm really attached to this season. I like Lamar too. I got to watch him last season and just really got drawn into how much beatings this poor kid takes. And I wanted to see him do well as well this season, but I really haven't had a chance to pay attention to him. So this was like an opportunity to do both. And unfortunately, I feel bad for Lamar. There's so many injuries. It's been such a topsy-turvy season for the Ravens. And this kid he's got to keep on running. And I just don't like the direction he's going and this team's going. For Bengals fans, I'm sure they're very happy. But for Joe Burrow, who at first I wanted them to draft Sewell. I thought that was like who they were going to get. And I listened to a bunch of Bengals fans, and when I did some podcasts over the summer, and then I did some considering, and I watched the draft play out. And I was still concerned, but I saw the possibilities of their choices. And those possibilities are really starting to pay off. Offensive line was a lot of problems early on. Joe Burrow was taking beatings early on. And I was very concerned. I even did a music video over Joe Burrow where I got to see his exceptional extra talent of movement within the pocket. That's how much I was really interested in this guy. And I was very concerned. But each week there seemed to be some growth. And as I said, I haven't been watching as much as I wanted to. And when I saw he got a throat injury last week, my concern started rising. But I watched this game, not with an eagle eye, went over it, and I was very, very impressed. Very impressed. Immediately, I thought I was going to do a Joe Burrow film study and extol on his awesomeness. And despite the great stats that he had, really, he wasn't the focus for me. To me, this was about a team. A team. And that is more valuable than a great quarterback. So I'm very happy for Joe Burrow fans. I'm very happy for Bengals fans. I'm very happy to see a team that's been down so long rise up. Hate to see Lamar be the downside of it because, you got to have compassion for the guy. He just takes such hits. But this is one heck of a statement game. And it's, in my opinion, way beyond the nice score that you got to see. So the 5-2 Bengals, I want to take a look at some of their, they basically are co-owners with the Ravens of the division. Steelers are at the bottom. Browns have their whole host of issues. And with the Bengals at 5-2, looking the way they do, this could be the year they take the division. So I want to take a look at some film, some of the things that I saw that were, I'm going to stick on the offense. I'm not really going to go on the defense so much. I need to dig a little deeper. I think maybe I will look at the tape and maybe I can get a second tape out this week or maybe the next big game. But I really just wanted to focus on some of the things that I saw from the offense, and I'm very impressed. So let's take a look at the tape and see what we see. So you can see that I cannot believe the torque this guy is able to generate this quickly after a serious injury. I mean, yeah, that's a nice pass, but look at this. This is so reminiscent of Burrow last year. That pop right there. That is a lot of torque on that inside left leg that he damaged last season. It's phenomenal to see him be able to get that done. Again, nice bounce. And this is something we saw from him last year too. And great catch and just great mobility and chemistry between him and the receiver. Now this is another play action. And he's got a plant on that left leg to drive and get the ball downfield. And it's just the recovery process is going so smooth. It's just unbelievable, fantastic. Again, the nice nimble bounce with all the pressure on the knee. Chase getting open and using that speed, phenomenal speed, just to really add some rack after the catch. And this was another one. This is a simple slant. And, yeah, it's a bit of screw-ups by the Ravens and missed tackles, but that's what Chase offers, just real speed and power and balance. This kid is looking absolutely like the right pick. Again, the chemistry here, it's critical for the receiver and quarterbacks of chemistry, and they clearly have it. That was really nice comeback, real good job. This play here was really disappointed in Burrow. I know he's a young quarterback and all, but 27-17 to have this pick here on against a good team that's ready to drive with that much time left in the game it could have been a major problem. It could have cost them the game. If they came back and drove down the field and picked up that 7, then you talk about a 3-point game. That's a big swing. You want to get into that 30 to 17 range is demanding 2 scores to win. So, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but I know he'll clean it up. But you really definitely don't see that too much. And then his Mixon. This is one of the best run defenses in the NFL. And that right there, I love that hand movement. To be able to pick yourself up off the ground. I mean, shorter backs, a little bit easier. But Mixon's a fairly tall back. And, for him to have the speed, the cutting ability, and the drive, but then the balance and strength to pop up like that and pick up the extra couple is very impressive. So, obviously I'm talking to the choir. Bengals fans watch the game. They got to see Chase, who was, big questions around him. Maybe he was going to, he had the drop season. And I did a little video and I said, and he's picked up the pace week after week. Now he had 200 yards. I was like, look at his stats. What? Now, a lot of that came from that one broken tackle play. But that was a sign of him being tough. And this is one of the traits he had, toughness and speed. Ability to get off press coverage and ability to play when a defender plays off him because of his speed. The difficulty in catch, and stopping Chase. And all day long, he was catching chunk plays. And when the ball got in his hand, you could feel that spark. This kid and Joe Burrow have chemistry, and it was absolutely the right move by the Bengals front office to go to the direction they have gone, taking the receiver first and then stockpiling picks on offensive linemen later. Now, the offensive line has its hiccups in both run and pass blocking. It's like ugly and then it gets good. But this can develop. And we're in year 2 of the Joe Burrow show. By year 3, they can add more quality linemen. When you have a cast, Joe Burrow, 23-38, 416, 3-1. Joe Burrow wasn't spectacular. There was so many open receivers. And this shows off, A, the staff put them in position to be open, Yeah, the Ravens, they're beat up. They're not the Ravens we knew from last year and the year before. But they were schemed open, and then their talent got them open. Mixon, who I've been so impressed with, was really a side dish. 12 of 59. That's the Ravens' strong point. The run defense, the pass defense is terrible. 4.9 yards per carry. But Mixon, he had that big run we looked at. He's I mean, do you remember the trio? You had the trio of the Dallas. You had Aikman, Emmett, Irvin, and then you had Harper and Novacek. This is not to the same level, you know what I mean? But the pieces are all here. I mean, you look at it. Mixon is top 5 back right now, playing like it. Burrow, to me, and that was the thing, his movement skills. Some of those moves put huge amounts of torque on the knees to make those happen. Quick twitch reactions that we saw from Burrow in year 1 that I wasn't sure we were going to see, but they're coming back. I mean, first you got to say the medical technology today is off the charts. But then Burrow's ability to rehab and his guts to get back in there and not really be worried. And then his ability to actually apply his athleticism back on a reconstructed knee. Amazing. You got Chase, 8 for 10, 210, touchdown. And he really, you know, he is such a difficult player to stop because of his physicality, because of his strength, and because of that speed. And Uzoma, I'm probably messing his name up, but I've been watching him for a few weeks on the highlights, and he's a tight end who's coming up. I really got to study him. He's had like 2 big games now, or 3 at 10, 91 yards, and 2 TDs. To me, if you've got the external, the edge play from the receivers, and you can have tight ends that can make people respect you, and he's a big boy, this is very dangerous. Higgins, a lot of Joe Burrow's misses came with T. Higgins, 7 of 15, 62 yards. But a lot of those plays were where the pressure got in and the balls were coming off. Boyd, 4 of 7, 39 yards. But, you know, Boyd wasn't even really a factor. And he's such a talent. And Higgins himself, he really didn't have a big game, but look at the production. And that's really, the offensive line isn't great. But just look how this offense is operating with a decent offensive line because Joe Burrow is who he is and because you have the talent. What happens now that you add, say in year 3, a first round or second round draft pick, bring in maybe another free agent or something and make this line better than average? That's going to be incredibly dangerous. But it's not just that. To me, the biggest shock, the offense was a shock, was the defense. And I really didn't do much film study on it because I just didn't have time. I really wanted to. But Ogunjobi, Hubbard, they're not having great seasons, but they had great games. 6 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 2 tackles for loss for Ogunjobi. And Hubbard was 3 of 2, 2.5 sacks, 2 tackles for loss. And this is without Oasi, who looked really good in preseason. So you got that talent coming back to add to this next year, which is very promising. And to me, the most fascinating guy on the defense, I love the big interior players. And DJ Reader, I remember for preseason looking over this guy, and like, this guy is just a monster. He's 6'3", 347. Now, you'll get guys that are 6'5", 330, 340. And that's big. When you drop down to 6'3", and you're that big, and you can play the way he does, the amount of leverage, power, and force that he can generate is mind-boggling. What an amazing anchor in the center for a division that's all about the run game. This is beyond critical. I mean, I think PFF ranks him the 4th best in the league. I really want to do a study on just Reader because I love these kind of players. And I love when I got to see Will Falk destroy my team for years. You know, Nagata, I love Nagata. I love Will Fork. And this guy is, I'm not saying he's in that level, but this year he's playing like it. I mean, the stats don't show it, but this guy's a force on the interior. And then Awuzie, you know, he's rated the second best corner. I mean, so at every level, this team has exceptional talent. Offensively, we knew that it was going to be something, but the defense is really starting to shine. I mean, your secondary held Bateman and Brown for 8 of 20 and 160 yards. Now, those are chunk yards. 160 yards is a lot per play. But because you could only, it was 8 for 20, and a little bit that's Lamar. He struggles on the edges. But this is how you get to the playoffs, by being able to beat the teams in your division. And you look like a great matchup against the Ravens. Steelers, I don't think they're really going to find their way. Browns, I think they're going to underachieve because of injuries and stuff. So it really looks like the Bengals are on their way, man. So I'm very, very happy for Joe Burrow. I thought he got a little screwed last year. He was asked to carry too much. He took a beating, and I hated seeing his knee getting blown out because I think this kid has greatness in him. But even better than that, for him and for you fans, there appears to be potential for greatness with your team. As a Finn fan, I'm a little jealous. You guys got something good going here. So I'm glad everything's working out for you. I want to say thank you for staying to the end. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Comments mean the most. I mean, now that I know the direction of my Dolphins team, I've got my angst out, I can really start, I'm going to start trying to broaden my horizons. So I'm sticking with the Bills still. But I'm going to try to get into your team a little bit more because I'm very proud of them and they're very intriguing to me. So please comment to me, tell me where I'm wrong, what I got right, what I need to look at, you know, when I'm studying film. That's going to help because I got to play catch up now. I appreciate that. And subs and likes help us with the Google overlords, keeps me in business. I want to give a shout out to Ace Per Head, the greatest online sports book out there. They're our sponsors. They want to let you know with their world-class software, you can get on the action with friends, family, and coworkers as a local bookie. They are a phenomenal company. Their like rating with people who work with them is off the charts. I think it's like the highest in the business. And, you know, I'm not really too knowledgeable about that stuff, but I talk to the owners, and they're phenomenal people. I mean, phenomenal people. They take care of me here, and this wouldn't happen without them. So I'm so grateful for them to be a sponsor. I truly, truly, truly mean that. And you viewers are just phenomenal. I go to all the fan bases, and 95% of them are just really awesome class people. So without you, without them, I wouldn't be here, and I love talking football. I'm really starting to enjoy this journey into the YouTube camera thing. Never thought I would, but I'm really starting to enjoy it. So anyway, thank you for staying to the end. Catch you next time. This is Curtis saying, be well.